All right, the length of the rectangle is 9 centimeters more than the width. So of course, everybody's going to draw a rectangle. That's step number one. All right, and in a rectangle, you should be able to tell me there is a length and there is a width. All right, so with that information, all right, I need help on what to label the length and the width. Good for you, go. The length is x plus 9. And the width is x. That is absolutely perfect. All right, now what was the formula for perimeter again? That is exactly correct. And what is the perimeter?
170 plus 2 times 9 plus 4.
Plus, and what's the width again? Yes. All right, that's it. That's how you set it up. That wasn't that hard. All right, so now we're on to number 20. All right, we're on to number 20. It says a large bucket holds 3 gallons more than twice as much as the small bucket. It took 2 small buckets and 5 large buckets to fill 63-gallon tank. How much does a large bucket hold? All right, so now we're talking about a large. And we can talk about a small. All right, Caroline, go ahead. The large bucket is 2x plus 3. And the small is x. That is correct. Very nice. All right, now how do I write out the equation? Plus what? Tell her.
2x plus 5.
Wow, that is exactly correct. All right, 2x, because that's the small buckets. 5 large buckets, that's why it's 5 times 2x plus 3 equals 63. That's it. All right, yes, sir. I read the question. Now, you see what I'm saying? 5 large buckets. That's where this comes in. Then I have what? I have 2 small buckets. That's where this comes in, right there. And the total is 63. And the total is 63. Come on. You good with that or not? All right, let's try 21. Let's see if that's any harder. All right, so my opinion here, the length of a rectangle is twice the width. So again, we write down a rectangle. Everybody's drawing a rectangle. All right, the length is twice the width. So, Liv, what am I doing? The length is 2x, and the width is what? X. That is correct. Now we need to draw a second rectangle. So we're going to draw the second rectangle. Maybe. We're going to draw the second rectangle. One more time. All right. Which is 8 centimeters longer and 3 centimeters shorter. So go ahead, Liv. Very, very nice. Anybody have any problems with that? All right, so it says the length of the rectangle is twice its width. A second rectangle, which is 8 centimeters longer and 3 centimeters shorter than the first rectangle, has a perimeter of 154. So now someone else write the equation. All right, write the equation. Well, I don't mind you doing that eventually, but right now I want to be consistent. All right, I want to be consistent. That's not bad. All right, but I really would like someone to go ahead and tell me the equation. Come on, come on, come on. Mr. Wash, what about you? What's the formula for perimeter, first of all? Tell me what that is. Of a rectangle. No, no, come on, come on. You're daydreaming. We just did it right up here, bud. Come on, perimeter, right up here. What's the formula for perimeter?
2 plus 2 W
What's the formula for perimeter? Say it.
is 2L plus 2W.
Come on, you have to know that. There are two lengths and two widths in a rectangle. So back down here, you're going to write down on your paper, perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. Now, what is the perimeter? Numerically, what is the perimeter? Will. There you go. That's the perimeter. Come on, it's not shocking. 154 equals 2 times the length. What is the length? Shh. Would you look up there on the board? Come on. What does L stand for? Length. What is the length? Thank you. So now 2 parentheses. What's the length again? Tell me again. 2x plus 8. Continue filling in the equation. Not equals. I just am here. You wrote here. Now I did here. Plus what? Mr. Wash, please. Right here. Perimeter is 154. I filled that in. Do you agree? What did you tell me the length was? So notice this length right here was translated into 2x plus 8. I put it right there. What is the W? Yes. Listen to me. Hey, I don't want anybody to be upset. I don't want anybody to not know. I want you to say, look, man, I don't understand what you're doing, crazy guy. Help me out. Right? Come on. I wrote down the formula. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. All I'm doing is now replacing what? The information. What is the perimeter again? What's the perimeter, guys? Everybody. How did I know it was 154? It says it in the problem. Equals 2 times the length. What's the length? 2x plus 8. Very good. What's the width? And I just plugged them in. What?
So for rectangle, we're always doing it 2L plus 2W.
That's the formula for perimeter of a rectangle. Because there are what? In a rectangle, how many lengths are there? Two lengths and 2 widths. You don't have to remember that formula. What?
What's the width, like, since there's 2 rectangles, how do you know which?
Very good question. Because I read the problem. All right. So it says here, listen to me. And again, I'm not trying to be funny. I understand it's hard, right? So I'm trying to show you how I knew it was the second one. Because it's describing what? A second rectangle has a perimeter of 154 centimeters. This is the second rectangle.
So whichever one that tells you the thing, then that's-
Yes. Well, then it says find the dimensions of each rectangle. So I have to tell you the dimensions of this one and of this one after I solve for x. You with me?
the-
Dimensions are the length and the width.
So there is the first one.
The length and width. You are correct. You with me on this? All right. So you're going to have all different kinds of answers there. All right. Hopefully that's pretty good now. All right. Come on, guys. Come on. If you don't feel like you're very good at it, now's your time. You should try. Try to participate. I'm not trying to give Will a hard time. Right. I want you involved. I want you trying. If you don't know, does everybody understand what I'm saying? If you don't know, sitting there writing down my work is not helpful. If all you're doing is writing down the work, it's not helpful. You act like you've done your job because you can copy stuff from the board. That's not what I want. All right, come on. You must participate. Here we go. 22. Sebastian worked twice as many 6-hour shifts as 8-hour shifts. He worked a total of 280 hours. Find the number of 8-hour shifts Sebastian worked. Okay, so here we go. What are we talking about here? All right, I'm going to let you try. What? And what shifts are we talking about? Right, there is a 6-hour shift and there is an 8-hour shift. All right. Now, what does a 6-hour shift mean? You worked for 6 hours straight. 8-hour shift means you worked what? 8 hours straight. Okay, so now Sebastian worked twice as many 6-hour shifts as 8-hour shifts. So go ahead, Palmer. Wow, I'm impressed. 2x and x. All right, he worked for a total of how many? So how do I figure out how many of each? Palmer, if I said you worked 10 6-hour shifts, how many hours did you work? 60 hours. So if I work 2x 6-hour shifts, how many hours did I just work? Well, no. You would work what? No. Tell him, Mr. Greep. No. What? No. Listen what I'm just saying, guys. I don't know. Listen to me, Liv. I appreciate it. Give me 1 second. If I don't know, let's say for some strange reason, I worked 10 8-hour shifts and I worked 26 hours. Now, why did I pick 10 and 20? 20 is twice as much as what? 10. So if I work 26-hour shifts, how many hours did I work? 120. How many 8 hours? 80. How did I get 120 and 80? How did I get 120 and 80? 6 times 20 and? So if you did that, come on, guys, this is where you got to get smart now. You're using numbers good. You're not using variables, right? So this was easy for everybody. Now I'm saying I have X 8-hour shifts. How many hours did I work total? Say it again. 8x. Exactly. If I worked X 8-hour shifts, that means I worked a total of 8x hours. If I worked 2x 6-hour shifts, I worked what? 12x. Now, for me, I'm going to write down 6 times 2x because I want you to see that. Now, what do I do with my hours? What do I do with those hours? Add them up. And now that's going to equal how much? 280. That's right. That's correct. No sighing. That was fun. Now your job is solve this tonight and let's try the next one. Let's try to set up the next one. All right. So I was happy with how this went starting out. And then remember, if you can't visualize it, make up your own numbers and see, well, how did I do that? All right. Here we go. Next. 23. All right, Miss Kellogg, read it.
There were 24 fewer 2-pound boxes of walnuts and 3-pound boxes of pecans.
Of what?
Pecans.
Pecan. What is a pecan?
Uh,
Okay. Pecan, whatever, right? I'm a pecan kind of guy, not a pecan kind of guy, but that's all right. You call them pecans. Go. Shh.
Funds for the weight of the box.
Pecans. Yes, pecans. All right, here we go. Now, again, we have two kinds here. We're going to call them what?
2 pounds.
Right. W for walnuts and P for pecans. All right, here we go. Now, I want you to try to label. Tell me something. Shh. Read it again.
There were
Shh.
24 fewer 2-pound boxes of walnuts and 3-pound boxes of pecans.
All right, so we got a little bit of problem here. Now look, come on, girls. It's time to focus. All right, time to focus. So the first thing we're doing is talking about boxes. We're talking about boxes. Do I know how many boxes of each there were, Katie? No. So I have to use variables. So what variable am I going to use? For which one?
The walnuts.
Walnuts. If you put X for walnuts, there were 24 fewer 2-pound boxes of walnuts.
Minus
Which one is minus 24? Shh.
the walnuts are X.
Yes. The walnuts are X minus 24 and the pecans are what? Yes. There you have it. Come on. Come on. Don't be nervous. Write it out. Come on. Take the words, translate them. All right. Now, how much do the walnut boxes weigh?
3 pounds.
All right. It says there were 24 fewer 2-pound boxes of walnuts. So the walnuts weigh how much? Shh. I'm trying to get Katie involved here. Oh, 2, right? So the walnuts weigh 2 pounds. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
But the pecans weigh what? Yes. That's how my notes are looking right there. So if I have X boxes of pecans, Miss Kellogg, what's the weight of those boxes going to be? Shh. What are you thinking? Well, okay, so listen to me. What if I said there were 5 boxes of pecans? What would the weight be? Shh. Come on, girls. I mean it. I'm concentrating. If you already know, go to do 24 and 25 and 26 and 27. All right, I'm trying to help individual people here. All right, did you hear me? Let's say there were 5 boxes of pecans. How much would the total weight be? How much does a box of pecan weigh? Right? So if I bought 5 of them, how much weight would I carry? Yeah, there you go, kiddo. So 15. So if I bought X, what would be the total weight?
15.
Nope. Now you're right.
15X.
You would say, listen to me now. Now what you're doing is you're mixing up the 5 with the X. All right. This is how many you bought. This is how much each weigh. So remember, I just said if you had 5 boxes, you would have 15 pounds. Your brain easily multiplied 5 times 3. You with me? But now I'm telling you there are X boxes. What would be the total weight? Yes, there you go. The total weight for the pecans would be 3X. Thank you very much. Now, come on now. You got this, girl. what would be the total weight of the walnuts?
X minus 24 times 6.
Yes, you're awesome. That's it. That's how easy. That's it. You take the number of boxes and you multiply it by 2. Now, some of the times it's hard for your brain to see that, but the weight times the number gives you the total. So the total weight for the walnuts was 2 parentheses X minus 24. That makes sense now, right?
Yeah.
And then the total weight was how much?
400.
So what do I do with this and this right here? Those two weights. There you go. That's it. Come on, that's it. All right. Now, let's get to Mr. Wallachek. Let's go, buddy. Come on, come on. It's all right. Come on, everybody. Come on, concentrate. All right. You try to write 24 down while we struggle with it. All right. So, Luke, come on, bud. Help me out. Read it. All right. So we have plain and we have fancy. So I'm just going to put plain and I'm going to put fancy. All right. Now, once again, the plain ones cost how much? $4. And the fancy cost what? 8. Now, how many total were bought? How many total were bought, Luke? 30 total were bought. So how many plain ones were bought? Do we have any idea? Shh. How many? X. Beautiful. There were X plain pennants. Now, there were a total of 30 that were sold. So you have to remember back to last week, I told you if the total was given, how do we figure out the other missing piece? Shh. Do you remember? So now I'm going to help you. Let's say there were 10 plain that were sold. How many fancy were sold? Shh. 20. How do we get that? From what? We did 30 minus 10, and that is correct, 20. Now, 10 was the plain, correct? So what does the plain represent in our chart? X. So what's the fancy? Help me. Nope. You did the same thing. Katie did it first. Now we're replacing 10 with what? X. So what would it be? No. 30 what? There you go. 30 minus X is the fancy. So I said, if you're ever given the total, you always take the total and subtract X. That will give you the other part. Do you hear me on that? Now, how much money did you spend on the plane then? Remember, it was $4 for each one. You bought X of them. How much money is that? How much did you spend on each plain pennant? How many did you buy? So what's the total cost? Let's say you bought 3. How much money did you spend? 12. Your brain did that easily. You just did 4 times 3. So how much now, if you bought X, how much money did you just spend? Come on. There isn't a number. You bought X of them. How much money is that going to cost you? How much did each one cost? So how do you figure out the total cost? If I said you bought 20 of them, how much money would it cost you? Come on. If you bought 20, how much? How much does each cost? $4. So altogether, that would be how much? Times what? No, yeah. If you, come on now, Luke, you just spent $4 on each pennant and you bought 20 pennants. How much would that cost you? 80. How did you get that? Multiplied what? So if I bought X, what would be the total? For what? 4X. Come on, write 4X down. The reason I'm getting frustrated with some of you is because how many times have we done that today? Like on every single problem. If you're just writing things down, you don't know. You don't know. Now, how much did you spend on the fancy pennants? And how many pennants did you buy? How many pennants did you buy? That's right. So you do 8 times 30 minus X. How much money did you spend? There you go. There you go. Come on, stay with me, man. Don't worry about being put on the spot. All right, don't worry about it. No one cares. Everybody knows people are struggling. All right, just try to do the next one. Try to do the next one. All right, 25. All right, let's see. Mr. Palermo, go read. Wait a minute. Does that mean there were 52 dimes? No, that doesn't. All right, so go ahead. What am I dealing with? Oh, what I got, you got to tell me what I'm dealing with. Right, so what letters am I starting out with? D for dime, N for nickel. How many dimes do I have? How many nickels do I have? No. 52 minus X. How much is a dime worth? 10 cents. How much is a nickel worth? How do I write 5 cents? How do I write 5 cents? 0.05. Palmer, are you writing all this out? You daydreaming over there? Continue. What am I doing now? Good. And wow, thank you very much. That's it. All right, you're in the game. What?
Why do we do 52 instead?
What?
Why do we do 52 instead?
How many dimes and nickels are there? Is 52 the total? What is 52? 52 is the total, right?
Yeah.
So whenever they give you the total, you always do the total minus X if you want to find the other missing piece. Just like we did up here. All right, for number 24. They gave us the total number that were purchased. So one is X, the other is the total minus X. Okay, let me hear someone else. Evan, you ready? Let's go. What am I dealing with here? Nickels and quarters, so I should probably write down what? N and Q. Now what? So quarters would be X. Nickels would be 2X. Now what? What are you thinking? Come on, come on, come on. What's a nickel worth? So how do I write that? What's a quarter worth? Exactly. Now how do I do this? How many nickels do I have? And what's the value? How do I figure out the value? Yes. 0.05 times 2x. Continue. Equals. Yes, 4.90. I think we're making some progress. Progress. All right. Now try to figure that out. Yes.
How could the 2x behind that 45? Oh, wait, never mind.
Okay. All right, Amaya, number 27. Let's go. What? I have quarters and dimes. Thank you. Q and D. All right, what do we got?
It's the quarters.
Which one is X plus 8? I didn't hear you. Quarters. What's a dime? Come on, girl, finish this off. Right? Good. Yes.
3, 5, and then we can just plus 8 plus equals 6.
Wow, how's it feel? Good. Finally. Smooth, easy. All right, very easy. Very easy. All right, now we did like 3 or 4 of those in a row. You should be kind of good at it now. You should kind of understand when they give you the total. All right. Now, here I want to talk about an opposite. If X is the number, what is the opposite of X? Negative X. That's it. All right, is everybody with me on that? All right, I haven't told you that yet. So some of you guys who knew that, that was pretty good. The opposite of X would just be negative X. All right. Now, listen, 28, 29, 30. Let's knock those out. All right. Now, what I mean by that is your job now is to finish everything up to 30. Your job is to finish everything up with 30 with the question answered. So everybody with me on this? All right, I'm going to let you try to set up what? 28, 29, and 30 on your own. See how that's going. All right, please, guys, if you don't try, Friday will be a big disappointment. All right, Friday will be harsh. All right, come on, please try to write the equations. If you can't, that's okay, but you have to try to set them up. All right, and those of you guys who are brave, you should be able to say, well, those were so easy, I'm going to try 31 to 40. All right, but that's the plan for tomorrow, 31 to 41 or whatever it is, and then we will have a bunch of review on Wednesday, and then Thursday we'll continue to review, and then Friday is the big moment of truth. Please, guys, try to set them up. Very good. If some of you are just struggling and you want to come up to my desk, if you want me to help you a little bit, I will. But I am going to be upset now